2020 budget meeting to order. We're going to take voice roll call, and then we'll go to minutes. Commissioner Bowens?
Here.
Commissioner Stubblefield?
Here.
Commissioner Glover?
Here.
Mr. Wade?
Here.
And I'm here, so we have a quorum. The minutes from our May 5th meeting are before us. Are there any additions or subtractions?
I make a motion we accept them as presented.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Glover to accept as written.
I'll second.
I've got a second by Commissioner Stubblefield. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Jody, do you have anything before I go to my first item on the agenda?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty good.
Okay.
Thanks.
We're going to start with Dr. Causey. He's going to present the 2021 budget for the school board.
And I'm going to give you a few documents, but you don't necessarily have to. I can promise you this will be the shortest presentation I think we've ever given here, and that's okay. This budget was, I heard that. Thank you. This budget was approved unanimously by the school board last night, 6-0 vote. With no questions. We had a planning session 2 weeks before that, and this is just our copy of what we would consider revenue for us. Hopefully, some of them got a little light. But the last document is really the one I need you to pay closer attention to because it's got the nuts and the bolts of any changes from last year to this year.
Chip, we had one come in. Do you know who that is?
For those who are a little new to how we do the expenditure side, when you look at the grayed out version, you got one as well. When you look at the expenditure side, which is really the one that we're going to focus on tonight, and I'm going to sit back here if that's okay. Everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Everything that is in gray on the expenditures. If you're looking at news, there's nothing new there. We kept sales tax exactly what it was last year per Ms. Jody's recommendation. Property tax is the same. The biggest increase for our revenue is BEP. And we saw a significant increase in our funds from the state because of our Tennessee Connections Academy. And you will see that on the revenue page. We can look at that one. That's the shortest one. You will under, if you look through all the way to the second page at the very top where it says basic education program. We've actually gone from $64,552,000 to $70 million. That's a huge increase for BEP. Most of that, however, goes straight to the company that provides our statewide virtual school. So the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. So we do get to keep approximately 2% of that increase. But that usually shakes out to about $145,000.
Stop you for just 1 second. We had another caller to call in, and we need to identify yourself, please.
Keith, that might have been me. I had to get off and get the phone. I might have come back in on top of you. Put you on hold, and I'm back on.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan. Go ahead, sorry.
Everything else on the revenue side, relatively the exact same as this past year. So no new money's coming in local on the revenue side. On the expenditure side, and I'm not going to go line by line. I know some of you all might be appreciative of that. I know you look forward to that. But I do want you to know that as you're looking at this later, the top half of the page is mainly salaries. So we try to break it out to where you can actually see the salaries. Just to go through it very quickly with no lines, I just want to show you at the very top of each page is the main part of the school system that's covered by that page. So if you look at the top of the first page where it says regular instruction education, that's all of our teachers, that's all of our teacher assistants. You'll see those home ends on there, substitutes are on there, and all of the things that we have to pay, Social Security, insurance, all of that.
Does anybody got an extra one? I don't have.
I do.
What you're going to, I don't have.
I'm sorry. Here you go. probably not a good time to talk $112 million budget and tell you that I can't count. So if you do notice, though, one of the things we'll talk about, if you look under educational assistance, that is probably the larger increase there. We have 10 extra positions in this year's budget. I'll explain that in a minute about what that's for. That's just a program we're wanting to do with Austin Peay State University. But that's how that goes. That is the first page. Half of our funds is pretty much the first page. And that's all of our teaching, all of our classified staff. The second page is alternative education. That deals with our alternative. They have their own area. The third page is special education. And I'm really doing this just for you all to look at later. On the next, that's vocational ed, what a lot of people now call career technical education. Total student body instruction is the next page. You will see that is our virtual school page. Our focus program is on there. Pretty much everything that we do virtually is there. That's why you see that huge increase between last year and this year. That's because we have to pay back the money, the BEP money, for the company providing the statewide program. Attendance, which is also known as student services, that is everything from that's Ms. Levitt's area. You will also see on there anything from software, our athletic director, a couple administrative assistants, our social workers are on there. And when we think about things we really wanted to do this budget year that we are not doing, the addition of a social worker or two was originally on the plan. But you will see that there's not, the only increases you see are the step raises that we wanted to give. And then so comes from that. That's somebody applauding digitally. The next one is our health services. That's our school nursing program, as well as our coordinated school health as well. Like I said, that's pretty much, there's even a grant. When you see that CSH, that's coordinated school health, that's a grant funded program that we budget for. Other student support, if you look at that, that's career instructional and assessment, our CIA folks. You will see our counselors are there, and that, you know what, I misspoke, CIA is on the next page. That's our counseling page. You will see that we have, if you look down there at the bottom, that's also our SROs, 25 positions, 3 supervisors, and a total of 22 SROs. That is where that program comes out of our budget. I know the sheriff's listening, or at least he said he was going to, so I'll give him some kudos on our partnership once again. The next page, this spoke a while ago, that's where we have our elementary, middle, and secondary supervisors, teacher centers there, librarians, their software's there. Like I said, anytime where you see money that we budgeted last year that has no money this year, that's usually where we got a grant or we didn't spend it and we didn't want to put it in this year's budget. That's the very next page is actually the administrator at our CALC, our alternative learning school. He has a page all to himself. And then you have special education on the next page. That's where our supervisor or psychologist, all of those folks, our coordinators, our behavior folks, they're on that page as well. And if you notice that each one of those pages, for the most part, every single one went down. And that one is included there. Vocational education, that is Mr. Gregory's page. He has his own there. One of the things that we'll talk about in a second is the fact that we did not put as much money in vocational ed this year because we boosted that last year for our biotech program at White House Heritage. And now that we have that program started, we don't need to give that program as much money as we did to get it off the ground. Technology is on the next page. You will see that did not change at all. Matter of fact, it also went down a little bit. In the years past, if you remember, we do have budgeted $400,000 for our one-to-one program. every year that this committee and the county commission decided was very important. I want to let you know that those monies have paid dividends over the past 2 months, like we never even thought possible. So thank you for that. We did have a goal to expand that to the middle school. However, that is not this year's budget. We did take that out of this year's budget just to try to be a little bit more fun. We were hoping with CARES Act money that we will be getting this summer, we will be able to help out the middle school with technology, because we do think that's important as well. The Board of Education, our board members, our PR person, they're on the next page. You will also see a decrease in there as well. The next page belongs to the director and the assistant director. That is us. You will see a pretty good decrease on my page. Principal page is the next. You will see this is where we have not only our principal salaries, but also some of the facility funds. Those did not change at all. The facility funds that we give our principals and for other things, they stayed exactly the same. And you will see that if you look there at the bottom, the decrease. The next page would be our fiscal folks, our finance office. You will see a very small increase there for step raises. HR is the next page. Like I said, we have to divide everything out. We do have an HR supervisor, 2 coordinators, and 1 administrative assistant, as well as a benefits coordinator. The next 2 pages are what I call buildings and grounds. They're divided into operation of plant and then maintenance of plant. And you can see some of the money that we have, not only in janitorial services, which is through a contract with ABM, but also how much we spend on electricity and gas. And we're saving those funds even as we're sitting here talking because the building's being closed. We kept our maintenance repair service. We are on the edge of going over there. We moved that a little bit to 1.25 million so that we could do some work in our buildings for the next year. Transportation is the place that we took the biggest cut. We had ideas of getting 8 to 10 buses this year. We have knocked that down to 5 buses, and that is bare bones what we must buy in this upcoming budget year. Next year, if things go back to whatever we consider normal at the time, that number of buses will have to go up to 10 because we cut it. If you notice, over about a $400,000 cut there, $450,000 cut. Food service in our county, of course, that food service is money in, money out for the most part. So not a whole lot to talk about there. The next one is before and after care. Our daycares, I will let you know, will begin opening up the week after school lets out. We've got enough parents that are willing to pay for that. That is a paid service, and our parents need to get back to work, so they need daycare. So those daycares that we're used to opening up before and after school, that are open up during summer, they will be opening up again following the guidelines that we've been given by the state. Our pre-K, once again, pretty much money in, money out for us. And then last page is regular capital outlay. We did not change that any at all. And that page looks relatively exactly the same. So if you go to the very end, the last 3, of course, transfer to pay off some of the bonds that we've had over the past few years, you will see a total budget of $112,603,896. If you look at the slides, it will lay it all out for you, because I'm one of those that I just wanted to share that with you. So if you wanted to go back and look, you knew what you were looking at. On these slides, and this is the high points of the budget. I gave you the total budget amount of the $112.6 million. It includes a step raise for all personnel that's on a salary schedule. If you're not on the salary schedule in Robertson County, you do not get a raise this year. And that's the director included. The assistant director included. Just know that's what we have chosen to do. 5 buses, 1 van, and a lift truck, which are needs that we do have in Robertson County right now. The buses is a cut to where we originally want to be. 3 added general ed positions. Those are funded by BEP money. We did not add anything past that. We did add half a guidance counselor at Crestview. They now have 1.5. This would give them 2. There would be 2 full-time counselors. They are our largest elementary school in the county and growing by the day. If you walk into Crestview, they're well over 800 kids for an elementary school. 3 added ELL positions, English language learners. ELL is one of those things that you get the kids, you have to provide teachers for those kids, and then you don't get money for those teachers until the next school year. So those have to be funded, and then we'll get the amount for next year. Increase in BEP funds, we had a 2% by the governor, and then the enrollment increased from our Tennessee Connections Academy. That's why you saw that number jack up to $70 million. First time we've hit $70 million for BEP. That is very preliminary estimate, as Ms. Jody will tell you. That's going off the April estimate, and we've never done a budget on an April estimate, have we, Ms. Jody? So that's very preliminary. We actually expect that number to go up a little bit as well. Not as much as we've seen in the past, because it's a pretty good estimate. Sales tax, you will see no increase. Property tax, no increase. Retirements or resignations, we were at a +3 teaching positions for the entire school system. The reason we got to that +3 is because there were some positions we did not fill. That retired, and the ratios were where they needed to be, so we just didn't fill the position, and that's the right thing to do fiscally. Highlights and revenue, we've already gone over all of that. There is a couple things about the grants, other grants that we do expect, the safety grant, those kind of things that we usually talk about in late summer. Those have not come to fruition yet, but we do expect those in a few months. Highlights, you will see that we've covered all of those. The 10 educational assistants. This passed, and I just want to share with you, 10 educational assistants for us cost us $180,000. What those 10 positions will do, they will be teaching assistants for Robertson County. They will be placed in classrooms where that number is a little bit higher than it should be, student count. So they'll have 2 adults in that classroom. They'll be paid as an assistant. At night, on weekends, and during the summer, they'll be attending classes at Austin Peay State University. In 3 years, they will have graduated with their teaching license in both gen ed and special ed. And then they will have to teach for us for the next 3 years as a special education teacher. As you all know, that's one of the things that we lack, is getting teachers to teach special ed. This partnership will give them a free college education in 3 years, and then they'll come back and teach special ed for us. For me, it's a no-brainer. And we're going to specifically put them in classes where those class numbers are a little bit higher than they should be. And it saves me a teacher. So every teacher, I can have at least 2 assistants, if not 3. Kept 1-to-1 for high school technology. And the rest of it, I think we've gone through, remains at $1.25 million for maintenance repair. Transportation reduced by more than $130,000. Facility funding's the same. The total increase in our budget is 1.92% from last year. And that, if you think about the 2% that the governor gave us for BEP, that's pretty dead on, even a little bit less. And with that, I will entertain any questions you have.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
Yes, sir.
Step raise for all personnel on a salary schedule,
Correct.
okay? Explain to me what that means.
We have, our certified teachers have a salary schedule, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and depending on where you're going from 3rd year to 4th year is what that step raise looks like.
So it's just the teachers getting a raise?
Well, we have a classified schedule as well. So, and it's based on how many years. So if you go from the 2nd year to 3rd year, there's a small step there. Our nurses have a schedule, like 2nd year to 3rd year nurse. We pretty much have a schedule for almost everybody.
Well, don't we, I understand teachers because BEP money and all that.
Right.
But why would anybody else get anything?
They've been under that schedule for about as long as I can remember. So if you're an educational assistant and you have 15 years, and now you're moving to year number 16, there's a very small.
Are they a teacher?
Step there. They're not. No, sir.
Well,
And we do get some fun. BEP actually is not just certified teachers. We have some educational assistants in there. Our counselors are on, and there's quite a few that come under BEP.
So if I work in the maintenance department, there's no opportunity to get a raise of any kind, right?
No, they have a schedule as well. Sometimes they'll bump up a little bit, yeah.
I thought we were supposed to keep this and not give, we got counties, we're getting calls from people wanting raises.
I am.
And we can't give it to them because we're under the understanding that we had to hold the line. Why are you giving raises to people that are not, that, only that, all I've ever understood, teachers are part of that BEP money, and it has to be given to them. But why would anybody else get it?
I can get you a copy of all of our salary schedule.
I'm not interested in it. I just want to know, why would you give a raise to anybody that is not certified teacher under the BEP program? Because we're got employees right and left asking for raises.
Right.
And we're not giving them, but you are. And
We don't have any other county government agency that's giving a raise this year? I was listening, I thought Sheriff's Department.
Sheriff,
Department.
that's because of what they're doing. We made an exception for them.
They're frontline workers.
Frontline workers.
Did it.
We got a lot of other employees that are saying, you know what? We're, what is the word they're using? I'm a essential worker. And why ain't I getting a raise? Well, you know, we were told by the state to hold the line. Then we look over to school and you're giving raises. Now, you didn't get one. That's great. You did exactly what I would have thought.
They're very tiny. I can tell you that. When we look at it, it's usually about $60 to $70 a year. We're not talking about.
Who didn't get a raise? I mean, I know you didn't. I know Sheila didn't. But
Anybody who was actually hired, I think as a salary employee, who's not a certified teacher, by the way.
I understand
Some
that.
supervisors that are not certified teachers, they don't get one either.
And that's fine. That's fine. I'm at the point where we were told to hold the line on count, and we've held the line and made an exception for those people on the front lines in the emergency with COVID, deputies and people that are out there going into homes where there's all kinds of problems.
And I'm going to tell you, we got our classified staff that are doing that and have been doing it for the past 3 months.
They're going into people's homes.
those are the ones giving out.
They're the
food.
ones giving out meals every day.
Yeah.
They're the ones.
Well, I've
packing
seen the
every
meals
day.
being dropped off. They're dropped off. They're not going into homes.
No, but they're meeting them on the street.
Is there not a state mandate that you have to give them a raise?
I don't, not necessarily for
Huh?
classified,
Oh,
no.
I didn't, the teachers, I mean.
The teachers are okay.
Across the board. I
Well,
mean,
there's,
across the state
you
of
know what,
Tennessee.
they increased the BEP funds by 2%, 4%.
Yeah.
That does not necessarily equal, because not all teachers are actually covered by BEP.
Hmm.
So you have quite a few teachers that fund doesn't include. So, and
Then why are they getting raises?
because I can't say that you're paid by BEP and you're not.
I
Therefore, you get
understand.
a raise
I understand
and
the state and the federal government's put us in a bind.
And the same is true for our classified folks too. Some of our classified folks are actually in BEP. We get them because of special education assistant, whatever the case may be. But I
So we
cannot
give
say
raises
you're a
to
special ed assistant, you're under BEP, so you get a raise. You're a general ed assistant working with these 3 children every day and you don't get one. We just
Well,
can't work.
I think that's what this does at a point. We're going to have to look at, are we giving raises to everybody now?
If he's going to do it, I'm fixing to make a motion. We give it to everybody in the county.
But we're able to do it, of course, without asking any more money as well.
Add something to that. They're getting half of what the governor proposed, you know. They were told they were going to get more than that, and then after the COVID funds, they got significantly cut back to try to.
And I have no problem giving what the governor gave us to give away. But the other employees, if there was nothing given for, then I have a problem giving them a raise if I'm telling all these ladies over here on this row down through here that they can't have a raise. All of them in the other departments, you can't have a raise.
I think I need to share the salary schedule because it's.
I don't care. Look, numbers are numbers. I understand numbers, and they're probably some of the least paid people.
They are the least paid.
And I understand that. But you know what? There are businesses out here that are have to let go people. They're not even sure they're gonna be opening back up. Your people got off, some of these people got off for 3 months or 2 months.
We have found a way for every single employee to help the school system during this time.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad to hear it.
And
glad to hear it.
some of
probably
them
get-
have
they
made
probably-
more contact with the public than anybody in this room, really, including me.
Some of that's I got a problem. I'm sorry.
That's
If we're gonna give it to you, then I feel like we're gonna have to do it for the whole county.
Well, we're already $600 some odd thousand
In the hole.
in the hole right now. So we open it up, we're gonna be sitting at
And the state told us to do something, and we're doing it
Well,
for
we're-
one department, but not another. This one over here is getting a ride.
Well, and go to the sheriff, he cut all his cars out for the year. So, I think he's funding.
Haven't they all found, all the departments that are getting raises
Well, I know-
found it within
Yeah, I know
their
EMA
budgets?
cut theirs,
Yeah,
EMS cut theirs.
their ambulance.
And that's fun. I'm glad they did. I'm glad they went the next step over. But we did commit that we would fund those part of it. Now, but we've not done anything for those people that really there's no way for them to cut anything out of a budget in a department like this finance department, because there's not much in it but salaries.
Well,
Make your
my thinking is along this line. Essential or not essential, I don't know. I'm not getting into that. But I know half of them sat at home and half of them work. They rotated in and out. Some work from home and various departments. And that's the issue I've had with giving them raises.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to see that all these employees are getting it over here, work the full 40-hour week or 30-hour week, whatever they did. I bet you some of them didn't work. They might have did a few jobs here and there. But I know I saw a bunch running around. It didn't look like they were all working.
Well, it just depends on, I'm not going to micromanage his department.
I'm not micromanaging it. Don't say I am.
Well,
Me and you'll have a problem there.
yeah, but we're talking about raises that he's wanting to give. It's his budget. If you want to nitpick
what
his
about-
budget, then we need to get his and see his salary. He's offered to give them to us.
I don't need to see
I
every
know,
line
because
item in the
we're going to
budget.
see who it's going to, and
It's going to be
the ones
those people
need it.
that are making the least amount of money, I know it. But we've got people in this building. We got
I'm
cleaning people.
I don't
that want
disagree with that.
raises.
I don't
And
disagree
they're
with
cleaning
that.
up the mess that we leave behind.
We're gonna bring that subject later
I know
on
you
about
are.
yeah.
I know
So
you are. But
And our cleaning folks, of course, are contracted, so they can raise their salary, and all I have is a contract that says I'm not gonna pay any more than I did last year.
I think the bottom line, if he wants to give raises, he can give raises. The only
Sure.
thing we do is take money away from him.
that's right. Well, we can't manage his budget. I agree.
That's it.
That was up to his
That's
board
it.
the other night. It didn't do it. But we can point out that I'm going to point out I've got a problem when one part of the county government is doing something and the other is not.
I don't disagree with you, Dennis.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. I'm not micromanaging because I can't tell him what to cut and what to add to it.
What you got, Mayor?
Ask a question, there's something different.
Yes, sir. Ask it.
Hey, on reserve, fund balance, since for 3 years now, it's been at 928,365. Is there a reason that number stays the same for 3 years? That's probably a dumb question, but
What he's looking at.
on this sheet here,
Chris,
on this sheet here.
Okay. That's the one he gave us.
That's the one that you said with the budget agenda, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one we got the other day.
the one that shows 928,365, technically what that is that's what it is during, the year that was budgeted at the end of 20.
I'm on 5%.
That may end up changing. What it is career ladder
Oh, yeah.
and aftercare.
That's our daycare fund balance, and that
Okay.
stays the
Is that
same.
what that is? Okay, I just noticed it hadn't changed in 3 years.
That's the one that it covers it.
You've got that money, you just ain't used it yet, right?
That's money I have to keep.
Right, okay, you just ain't used it yet, all
We're
right.
going to talk
Because
about
it's
the
in,
penny
it's
today,
debit.
or is that
All
going
right.
to be another meeting?
I would imagine today.
And we'll use,
So if I
it
want to
comes
take
out
the
every
penny away
year.
from
Hey,
it,
are you getting concerned about your fund balance?
we got
Try.
one.
Well, if you look at it right now, it's looking at $11.3 million.
Yeah.
What would it cost?
They're thinking by next year, it could be 8.6,
in the
you know?
hell here?
Just about
I don't think it'd be-
Well, I mean, that's, I guess that's my crawl.
268.
270 just to round it off.
Yeah.
So that's about a 1.5
270
cent
to 260.
on the tax rate, right?
In your maintenance away,
About
we have
1.5
to
cents.
maintain that 11 million next year or
He's
what?
gonna give it-
No,
He's not giving it
no,
to
I
us.
have to maintain
So
3%.
if we give it to
Yeah.
Alvin, he's gonna want to give the rest of it.
Okay, now
But
that's
somewhere along the line, we're
three and a
gonna have
half.
to try to make that up, ain't
Let me go back and do the other one.
we? We keep going this course?
Let me do it each penny.
This year, we're actually probably gonna end up at two.
Okay, okay. I'm just, some
We
reason,
always budget more than we
somewhere
spend.
this year, I really begin to look at these fund balances and, cause I
Do you wanna
know
wait to
sometimes
pass
we
this
kick
budget
that can down the
At
road.
the end of the meeting?
We're gonna have to make it up sometime, you know, I just, especially a year like this year, we look at this COVID
Might vote
thing.
again.
We just don't know what's
I
down the
think the
road,
rest
you
of
know,
y'all will support it.
for the whole future.
But even last year's
Not in our time.
budget
Yeah.
that I know quite a few people did not like, in the issue that we're having right now, we were still pretty good.
Yes.
That's fund balance.
I do.
So basically, as a
We're
positive
much better
thing,
than we were this time last year.
yes.
Yeah.
Hey, and I appreciate you explaining that 928. I keep looking at it, I'm going, wow, I've been like it for 3 years.
Yeah, you'll also see, you don't show the 400,000 in there, do you, Ms. Jody? on that sheet?
It's all included in
It's
there,
all
like your
included in there.
career ladder, the 400,000 and your aftercare.
Yeah, 400,000 is the part that we have to keep for the one-to-one initiative. So that's money I can't spend if I want to. It has to be going towards that, so.
You got any idea what your enrollment's gonna grow?
You know what? If Nashville keeps on raising property taxes, it may grow quite a bit.
Yes, it will.
We've already had, I did drive through White House. I got a chance to see some of those houses as well. But I tell you, our biggest increase that we think we're gonna have is people asking about virtual. Because we've had some parents that are concerned about their kids coming back in August. And if they do that, then if they're with our virtual school, our local virtual school, we will still receive BEP funds for them. So, and that equals a seat through the program that we use for virtual school. If they go the Tennessee Connections Academy route, then they don't cost me anything. I just get the money and I turn around and send it out that way.
So
But
it's
right
very,
now-
very important that you get them in your program.
Oh, absolutely. It is. And the other reason, if they're in Robertson County, they need to be in a local program. Because if you all know Dr. Holmes, she calls them, she checks on them, the teachers call them. It's a little bit different than Big Brother over here taking care of all their needs. So if they're in Robertson County, we want them to be part of our local program. Even though it actually cost us quite a few thousands of dollars. It's good, it's money well spent.
Randy, fund balance looks really well this year.
Thank you.
Nice to see that increase.
That took a lot of cutting. It really did. And,
Well, I
like
think you're on the
said,
right track.
We'll continue to do so.
Yeah, that's really good.
I talked to Steve Osborne at the comptroller's office today and told him where y'all's revenues or your expenses exceeded your revenues by around the $3,095,089. And out of the people he's talking to, he said that was great. That was very, very good.
Well, we've heard from other districts, and I'll remind you a textbook conversation that we had 2 years ago, where we asked for $500,000 more in textbooks because we wanted to get a jump start to the next year. I don't know if you all remember that or not. And that has now paid off this school year because ELA, English Language Arts, will be the largest textbook purchase we've ever made. And we're going to be able to make it with the money, this year's budget money, which we had left over, about $500,000, $600,000. Next year's textbook money. And then also the third year's textbook money because they're skipping an adoption year because of the crisis. So we're going to be able to pay for something that otherwise we would have cut. And that's a big deal because other counties are cutting textbooks out of kids' hands and we just can't do that.
Your budgeted ending fund balance at $8,611,745 is approximately $3 million greater
Yes, ma'am.
than it was budgeted last year.
That's good.
Good job.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Dr. Causey?
Trustee, I want to thank all of the employees, your employees that have gone out and delivered meals and prepared meals, and the ladies downstairs,
Yeah.
taking the temperatures,
Well, thank you.
everyone else, the bus drivers, so everyone that's participating.
And I will share with you, we talk about that we deliver meals on Monday and Wednesdays, but what you don't know is that we do have our cafeteria staff and those classified staff, our office folks are coming in on Tuesdays and Thursdays that are packing those meals. Because on Wednesdays, we have to pack 6 meals for every child. So last Wednesday and this Wednesday, we will actually go over 30,000 meals that they have to pack and put on buses on Wednesday.
Are there excess food when they come in at the end of the day? And what are
There's
you doing
there's
with
a little bit if we overshoot it. Or I'll tell you, for instance, I was on a bus that delivered 192 meals one day, and then the next day they're down to 160. Kids just didn't come out for one reason or the other. So it really is sometimes hit or miss on whether or not the kids are awake or if their parents are awake.
Yeah, I heard Watauga was having to throw food away because they had nowhere to go with it.
Well, the first thing we always do is we check with other buses who might need it.
Okay.
And then, and you were talking about going door to door. Yeah, we've done that too. I mean, we did. If we know that there's 4 kids in that house and they didn't come back, bus driver circles around, they'll get off, someone will get off that bus, they'll knock on that door and they'll do it. Because that's more important. But yeah, anytime you do that, there's going to be some food that you have to throw away because it won't be good.
Yeah, I understand that. I just,
Anything else
shame we don't
keep,
have a Meals on Wheels or program or something that could.
Pop-Tarts, muffins, those kind of things that we can keep until the next time we keep them.
So is the expense to doing the lunch, the meals this way, is it more expensive than being in the cafeteria, serving lunches in the cafeteria?
No,
Are
ma'am.
you
No,
seeing-
ma'am. The expense comes really with the transportation more than anything else, I do believe. And of course, we had a budget amendment that just got approved. That's really just USDA money that came in to help take care of a lot of that. And Patsy, you all know her. She's on the call. She sent us a picture today. Any email she has that says for free, and we're talking about like the plastic trays that food can be wrapped in, things like that. She'll sign up for it, and we get trucks all the time. So she cuts pennies every chance she gets.
Dr. Causey, Bob Hogan here. How's Jeff Chapman doing?
Sir,
How is Jeff Chapman doing, Coach Chapman?
I do believe last I heard he was on the road to recovery. Thank you.
Thank you.
But that's been about a week, so I'd have to check back on him.
You need a motion to approve?
Well, do you want to approve now, or do we want to go through some of this other stuff and come back?
My way of looking at a school budget is the only really control the county commissioner has on is the tax rate. So whether we approve or not, really what's important here is he's got to approve by his board. We can't change it. He's right.
Then I'm looking for a motion.
Motion we accept this.
I've got a motion to approve by Commissioner Stubblefield. We've got a second by Commissioner Bowens. Any more discussion or questions? Ready to vote?
Yeah, I got one. I got one, Keith.
Go ahead, Don.
Tell me again what the fund balance is for the school board.
It's, the ending budgeted fund balance at the end of 21 is estimated to be $8,611,745.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Any more questions? Ready to vote? Commissioner Bowens?
Aye.
Commissioner Stubblefield? Commissioner Glover?
Aye.
Commissioner Wade?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. 5 ayes.
Thank you.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second thing on our agenda is Finance Director will present comparisons of our current revenues for General Fund 101 from last year.
Okay. I'll just have to apologize on that. I've been covered up and I didn't get all of the revenues in until yesterday. But had some positive revenue news come in from our Chancery Court clerk, Miss Rosemary Sprague. They brought in $116,000 last week for the month of April, and 100 of that was received last week. They've done delinquent tax sale. So I'm hoping that will help make up for some of the monies that I know we're gonna be missing in, general sessions clerk. So I'll just apologize. I took the weekend off and I didn't work on it.
So,
Can
hey,
get it.
I'm gonna brag on the Lincoln Tax Committee. We've been moving stuff. We're gonna meet again. We've got like 6, 7 properties that the city of Springfield has already signed off on, and we're gonna be selling them. Well, if we're having one auction Thursday.
That's good.
It's been very helpful with the other revenue being down. And then also even with the sheriff department, they're in there with their prisoner boarding at 3,500,000. And in the budget the year we're in 20, we had 3,700,000. So I was very, very conservative when I estimated, and I'm kind of wondering if maybe some of these other revenues that are estimated low, maybe they'll end up balancing out. But I didn't have time to look at it in detail like I thought that I would, but I did study it pretty good back when I did it the first time.
What is the penny this year?
172,000.
Same last year?
Yeah.
Yes, same.
More questions or discussion? Good. Next thing on our agenda is we need to, do we have any more? I know we've kind of gone through our debt service, but we need to get it approved. Is there any more questions or comments on it? Or, I mean, it's very healthy at 11,782,240. Very healthy.
Let's see it.
Move for approval.
I've got a motion to approve by Commissioner Wade. Do I have a second?
Second.
We've got a second by Commissioner Stubblefield. Any more questions? Ready to vote? Commissioner Stubblefield?
Aye.
Commissioner Glover?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowens?
Aye.
Commissioner Wade?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, so the ayes have it. And now we need to discuss the dreaded topic of the solid waste sanitation funds. Do we need more time for you to get some more final numbers, or can we go ahead and move this on? We know we know how we're going to solve this year's issue, but
Well, I will say this. I made these estimates based on March information, March expenditures, and March revenues. I want to say I think these could end up possibly coming out better because up until March, they were averaging $150,000 worth of revenue every month. And when we go back and we look at the receivables that were paid in April, if you put them back into March, it actually ended up being $296,000 for March, and April's coming in at $326,000. So fortunately, that will be helpful on the revenues. I'm still estimating that your expenses for your tipping fees and your revenues for your tipping fees, those will equal out. I've looked at this several different times, but I have not updated this information. I have the spreadsheet that I had shown all of you where Jeff Bailey, the state comptroller's office, made up, and we did a comparison that went all the way back to fiscal year 2017 to just verify some of the numbers. I'm not really 100% sure if this is a good budget to go by, or I may need to probably fine tune it. But I could fine tune it, as you well know. It's not going to be a minus 300 because we're putting a $500,000 back into operating transfer. They paid $1.1 million out for their transfer station project, and basically the county is giving them $500,000 of that back.
When will that be given back?
You guys are going to be doing a budget amendment next Monday.
So it's going to go into 2019, but
20.
it's going to 20 or 19?
fiscal year ending June 30,
June 30th,
20.
20. Okay? And what we've got to do is we got to make up $319,000 to make this budget balance is where we're at, right?
Basically, this $500,000, because your ending fund balance will be greater, it'll be 718,000.
Right.
So you will be
So we
okay.
got enough money there to allow it to go into a deficit, is what you're saying.
Yes, there's funds there, and like I said, this number could go up or down.
Okay. We can sit here and second guess and pinch numbers all the way up to June 30th. I want to make a motion that we approve this budget with the 500 going in. The fund balance will be higher than we're showing here, and thus that'll take us into 2020 and 2021. And then we can amend that budget as it's needed as we move forward into 2021.
And everyone knows that we've got issues out there.
We
So
got
when
issues.
they see budget amendments coming, they're gonna know why.
Well, I will request one thing, okay? This was based on March, and I have April financials and information now. I don't have a problem with y'all improving it, that will be great, but could you allow me to update it based on April financials, so I have 10 months worth instead of 9 months?
If we approve in this budget, I don't want you changing anything, because this is what we are approving. All I'm telling, where we're at, aren't we supposed to be through with this thing by when?
Well, we got to vote on it in June.
In June?
Well, I think I gotta put the ad in the paper 2 weeks from tomorrow. I have
Okay.
to.
See, we've got 2 weeks. Because you gotta get the ad in, and the ad's gotta have the numbers with it. So where I'm at is let's just let this go. I know, to be honest, what you're saying, May numbers, you're probably gonna find May numbers on a lot of different funds in here that are gonna be better.
How much of a difference will it make on this budget if we waited?
I honestly can't say, because today was the day that I just we booked it and we actually closed today. I honestly can't say. I do know that based on the fact that March revenues, once I booked the receivables, instead of it being $156,000 worth of revenues, it ended up being 236, and then I would have never guessed April was going to turn out to be 326. But I can't use those numbers next March and April, because we're not going to hopefully not have another COVID-19.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm going to hit budget on revenue this year. It's up to y'all. It'll look better, because I am going to be changing that column where it says estimate 1920. I will be changing that.
Well, I mean, if it's going to make the number look better, then I'm go ahead and move it on tonight, because we've got issues out there. And
I do not think it's not going to look any worse. I
Okay.
do believe it will be improved.
Then I think I made a motion that we approve this budget, and I mean for that to stand.
So I've got a motion on the floor to approve, and I've got a motion by Commissioner Wade. I got a second by Commissioner Glover. Any more discussion? Question's been called for. Ready to vote? Commissioner Bowens, Commissioner Stubblefield, Commissioner Glover, Commissioner Wade.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Ayes have it. Mayor, you got some new business?
I got a couple things to bring up, 2 things. Chet, I guess you heard me, the governor said we've got to do electronic meetings till June 30th.
I did.
Yeah, I know that's not, yeah.
I did, but I also read in there that if we feel like it's necessary to continue this way.
Yeah, well,
So it's up to us as a governing body to decide that.
he needs to change that 10 people in a room rule.
Right, right.
That's the problem right there. We could probably go back to the big courtroom up there and scatter everybody out and be great, you know? But I don't know if he's gonna change it. If Restaurant can do 50%, why can't we do 50? I mean, fill up 50% of the chairs or whatever, you know?
I think we need to plan on June 30th.
Yeah,
and then
well, hey, today we had 24 positives. Well, he's allowed to back up and say 5 people. I don't know, but he's took it out of the county's hands. It's strictly under his law now, so. But anyway.
We had 24 today?
Yeah, we had 24 today. Okay, and the other thing is, the state is giving us $1.1 million. It's getting 525 from Governor Lee back to the counties for growth and stuff, and, now the Kobe money's another 500,000, am I right, Jody?
Yeah, the total is gonna be $1,050,683 to be exact.
Okay, now, for us to get that money, we've got to have a resolution in front of the county commission and send back to the governor's house showing what we're gonna spend it on. Supposed to be for certain things. You can't use it in your general fund. You gotta have it on safety, I think road construction and stuff like that.
Capital expenditure
Capital,
too.
yeah. And, the only suggestion I got is, I know the highway department spent all their money on a bridge. It'd be nice if we could give them a little of it, just to get their fund balance back up.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, hey, I was thinking out of the $1,000,001, it'd be nice if we could, they could get 200,000. We're going to have a parking lot over here, especially whatever we do about the courtrooms one of these days. But I'm leaving that up to the budget committee. I want your input before Clyde makes this resolution and writes it up.
When do we need to do this by?
Hey, Clyde was kind of wanting to get it wrote up by Monday night.
I got
We
it.
gotta pass it tonight.
We'll do
Yeah,
it.
I got an email.
We'll do it tonight then.
Got an email today that said he's waiting on that.
So you want 200,000 to go to,
That's me now. I just, y'all do what you want to do, but I feel like these guys, they just spent all their fund balance on a bridge. And
Well, I
they
absolutely agree.
I don't have a problem.
right, and they didn't come and ask for a dime.
They
They had
didn't.
No, they
nothing
didn't.
to
They
do,
didn't
so-
ask for
They
no
did
money.
it, they
And,
took care of it.
and I'm gonna tell you, I think the roads in this county is one of our biggest, people talk about.
So we have to tell them what we're gonna do with the $1,050,000.
One,
Can we start a capital fund with it?
$1,050,683.
before, the state would send us a check.
No,
Because
you
I
have
to
to,
him by
you have to
certain date.
check it. There's boxes. You have to say, like, if it's a capital project and he's wanting to do it for the, parking lot, you'd have to specify.
Do we need it?
Could we use it to
I mean-
tear down that?
And safety, right? And safety. It's to go for
I
safety.
don't know, Faye.
What about us being a little generous with our, and do a little bit for the, fire departments out there?
It's saying on there IT upgrades,
Right.
road projects, capital maintenance, public safety, utility system upgrade, and COVID-19 response. Those are the six.
And my thought is on why they're probably, every time there's a call out on somebody, COVID-19, you've got some guys running from the first responders groups. Are these,
How many departments do we have? Fire
Our
department,
department's is about eight,
About eight,
about eight, Chad. ain't it?
eight or nine. Let me look and see for sure.
That budget's around,
how much?
that budget's about
20?
750,000, something like that. I'm
is
gonna tell you.
equal across the board?
733.
You can run a county
Look at the
fire
size
department
of
for
it.
$750,000, that's unreal.
That would be,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Wouldn't
7,
have much.
8. There's 8.
So we could do 20,000 per department? 160,000?
Hey, that's up to y'all, I'm fine with anything.
How much were we gonna do for the highway department?
200.
200?
That's right.
and I don't have a problem going up on that. What
Yeah.
did they actually go into their fund balance?
About 700 or
It's
something.
740.
So I don't have a problem going and giving them some more.
Yeah, let's,
Because the highway, that's,
You said, who are you saying?
well, instead of 200, bump it up to 500,000. Or 300,
well,
350.
what about,
I don't have a problem.
we,
because
we know the sheriff and, EMS, they're gonna need cars and
Cars.
ambulance.
Yeah.
We could put
And
that
we're gonna be
back.
looking at that in
That's
December,
safety.
so we can go ahead and do that right now.
Now, get it over with.
Yep.
That'll make them
An
happy.
ambulance.
Yeah, we need to go ahead and get them an ambulance.
One ambulance, and then how many cars he have?
For 6.
He had, hey, sheriff's online, how many cars were you asking for? Sheriff?
I didn't know he was online.
I see him up there, Sheriff Van Dyke.
Is he, did you get it muted?
No,
he's green.
he's on green. He's not, if he wants the cars, here
There
we
you
go. Going once.
All right, all right, hey,
Stop the meeting, can you hear me? You hear me now?
Too bad, too late.
I had 8 marked cars and 2 unmarked cars. 472,000.
All right. Russell, are you online?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. There I am.
How much is an ambulance?
160, I think will do it. It'd probably be less than that, but that's a safe number, I think.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Those two are 632. If we put 160 into the fire departments.
Chet, better get in
792.
there if you want something.
Chet, what do we
I'm saying,
need?
all this money's going.
What do we need?
Give me some time.
We left yours in there.
Yeah, but we can
We
do some,
ain't got time.
we can do some more upgrades.
That's true.
And we're gonna do the fire departments?
Yes,
All right, how much was the fire department?
160.
That's 20,000 per fire department.
Sure.
I was looking at it
Well,
and see if they
I'm
might
at-
ahead.
My math has got us at 992 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done the two. Are you doing the 200 on the highway?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, that would be 992.
And then what did we get?
1,050,683.
There you go, speaker.
I mean, I wasn't prepared.
Well,
That leaves $64,000 roughly. And
Hey,
I mean, I think Chet can find
How
some
much?
about 64,000.
It's actually this much.
Yeah, email filtering would be on top of my list.
a what?
Email filtering,
Yeah, it's fine.
we're getting inundated with spam. It's just so expensive.
Can you do it with 58,683? I think.
You mean we don't have filters on the emails coming in?
We do, but there's
What
some
was it,
that
58,
slips through.
63?
Yeah.
I got one today.
Well, we don't want them hitting something that puts us in danger of. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, warnings came up on it, you know.
What you gotta be scared of is the ones that don't come on warnings.
160.
Me?
No, Chet.
Chet.
He tested them there one.
So what I've got is I got 472,000 going for vehicles for the sheriff's department, $200,000 going to the highway department, $160,000 going to fire departments, $160,000 going to EMS, and that leaves 58,683 going to IT.
58,000.
683. Mayor, are you okay with that?
Hey, I'm fine with it. The only thing I can think of is one of these days we have to do security down there, probably in the office building. But I'm fine with what y'all doing. I'm fine with it. Hey, I'm just glad we get the money. It's a gift.
Well, that would be my recommendation.
All right,
Yeah, agree with that.
training, anything.
Yeah.
Either that or we could cut one or, I don't know how many cars that Michael would. Cut one of those.
Yeah. That's going to be reoccurring.
But that office deal down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, security, yeah.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
This is one-time money.
This one-time money.
So we gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's
spend.
spend.
We're gonna use it on security station or what, you know.
Public safety, I guess you could do it for the first time out, couldn't you, the first year?
Well, hey, I think what y'all done is correct.
Let me ask a question. The 58,000 for some kind of filter, that's not a one-time expense, is it?
Hardware, you can
It
buy
is
the
hardware?
to do it.
Okay, this is the hardware side of
You
it.
can buy the hardware.
Software's gonna be a reoccurring thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, but you can buy 5 to 7 year licenses.
Yep.
That's what I normally do, but.
I honestly didn't know we didn't have one. And I think it's very important to have.
Yeah.
We do, it's just, we're using what comes with our email program.
Right.
It does really good. I catch some sometimes, but she got one the other day and of course she forwarded it to me and it already,
Are the county commissioners on that same system?
I'd love to get y'all on it.
Well, because I noticed some stuff coming through to the commissioners that looked like spam to
Doing a
me.
different domain, I'd have to change
So-
y'all. I've
Can-
always wanted to. 'cause
Can
it's-
you get us on there?
And it looked like we were something was spam.
There, we were getting spam. Yeah, at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is subscription
Like
based.
them windows. Guess you're saying something.
What about Major's Drive?
On drive-through. Have we ever got a bid on that?
We have not. I've never heard a figure.
I think it needs to be, get Trey involved.
Well, I think he is to a certain point. Well, he was told to kind of put it on the back burner, because we weren't supposed to spend no extra money.
Yeah.
Would that even qualify for what we were doing though, a drive-through for?
Well, COVID-19, you could sort of say for
Yeah,
protection
I guess it would. It would be for
of
protection.
employees.
Well, let's figure, hey, one of these days we're gonna have to do something about a parking lot. And,
Yeah, what have we
Well-
got for the parking lot here, y'all? We ain't got anything in there for it.
Well, I tell you what, we probably should look at doing. How much do you think we need for a parking lot?
golly, I depends if you go up.
Well, we need.
or
I've
just
said
do
for
a lot over there.
I've said for
Let's face it, when we
5-6
sell that
years, we need
traffic
to go
supply
up.
building, I'm hoping that somebody help me with the parking lot. That's what I got in my head. And probably do the drive-through too.
Yeah,
Yeah, when we sell the tractor supply building, and that's still on my agenda.
well, where we at on it?
Well, we just now got the contract back from
the contract's
our
back,
renter.
the work's
And
virtually
and now,
done.
the only thing in my head is a good time to sell
It's
something.
time to sell it.
It's time.
I think, hey, I really think those two myself.
Well, I think we ought to sell it.
Do we need to? Because we could very well, and I know the sheriff don't want to hear this, but we could pull a car from him.
Well, I think
He's got the biggest.
He said he had 6 ordered and he got you
Right.
because it's backlog. And, I think he'd be glad to get them 6. I'm not speaking for the sheriff. Sheriff, you still about there. If they take a car from you, it wouldn't hurt you, would it?
Yeah.
Well, of course it'll hurt a little bit, but we'll make it through it. And if it's that bad, we'll come back in November, December, like we talked about before.
Okay.
He's talking 472,000 for how many cars?
Eight is 392.
Let's clarify something. This isn't gonna go in anybody's budget right now. This is just getting the process started.
Yeah, hey, that money might not be
We gotta get
for you.
approved and go through the governor and all that. These are just,
Per car.
you
Yeah, we
have
can't
to,
start
So we
spending
take 2
it.
away?
yeah, it's not in the budget. We can't really do
Then use
anything
that
till
in
it's
the
all
parking lot?
approved, just so everybody's clear.
But if we vote on it Monday night, that's how we spend it. Then that's,
Then that's what we gotta stick
That's what we
to.
gotta
It's gotta
spend
go
on.
to the governor. They gotta approve it and go through some process.
I bet he wished now he hadn't offered that first half meeting. He did that before COVID-19.
Well, all we can do is send it in and hope for the best.
Well, I think we need to get the parking lot taken care
I
of.
think we do too.
I think we ought to take 2 of the cars off the list for the sheriff.
Do we have any idea what we're talking about as far as expenditure on the parking lot?
Well, he's looked at doing the green lot over here.
Okay.
And then if you really want to move the courtrooms all over here, you're probably gonna have to go up.
I don't think we're gonna be putting enough in to do all that they wanna do. And,
Well, I was just, from what I used to hear or have heard about the tank, the water and having a tank under the ground and stuff is, I thought it was talking about several $100,000.
They were doing it that way.
Okay.
But I think that if we can ever end up with a Doctor's Plaza, then we won't change the water runoff much because we won't have to have a drive up into it.
Okay.
So we can tie into it, and I think that you'll see the costs come down tremendously.
If the parking lot is a major concern, we can probably sell the tractor supply building quicker than we're gonna get this money. Okay, that money may be a year out.
January is what I had heard.
That'll be about right for the cars for the sheriff.
what do we wanna do? Approve this as is?
I say just approve it as is. All we're doing is trying to get the money.
And we don't know when we'll get it.
If and when. If and when.
We're blue sky.
So are we gonna stick with the original $472,000 for the sheriff, $200,000 for the highway, $160,000 for fire department, $160,000 for EMS, and then the $58,683 to the IT?
Me.
Make a motion to that effect.
Got a motion by Commissioner Bowens, and I got a second by Commissioner Glover. Any more discussion? Question? Let's vote. Commissioner Wade?
Aye.
Commissioner Glover?
Aye.
Commissioner Stubblefield?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowens?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Ayes have it.
That's all I got.
I've got one little thing too. I have had a couple of calls from department heads about raises, saying they are essential, and why are they not getting raises? And so I felt like we probably just need to discuss it here and kind of get it ironed out tonight and move forward. But we had originally said it was each department getting their raises, EMS and EMA. They're frontline workers. They're the ones that have not taken any time off during this that I know of. So I'd just like to hear some kind of where we stand at. I mean, I know what you were talking about earlier, all the other employees, so.
You mind if I speak up for a quick?
Sure.
I've sent all of you all the salary schedule for transparency. Commissioner Wade, just let me know how quick I was. We do have 80 and a half classified positions under BC. So when we talk about giving raises, just like teachers, we can't go in and say, you're covered, but you're not. So you get a raise and you don't. So that's what they are under BP. Of course, we have more classified staff that's covered under, just like we have more teachers that are covered under BP. So I just wanted to make sure that you all knew that we do have quite a few classified staff that are actually given funds through BP.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Do we have any way of knowing? Gave every employee another, all the rest of the employees,
I heard 270,000. That's 3.5%. Is that correct?
Approximately, yes, and I figured about each percent is about 77,000 for each percent.
So right now we're sitting at $665,100 out of balance. So if you add that
Close to $1 million.
270, that gets you knocking on being $1 million out. And I'm just not ready to go there. I think we made the necessary cuts that the state asked. I think our frontline workers are getting it. I know animal control deems themselves frontline, but I think they've also rotated and working and off, on and off. So, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm coming to y'all for guidance.
A whole lot of people have lost jobs.
You're absolutely right. A lot of people's lost jobs.
And it might be even worse.
Well, I'm afraid it's going to get worse before it gets better.
I can't sit here and approve a raise.
When others are
As long as
going
you have a job, you're blessed by having a job.
I agree.
And I expect by this time next year, we're gonna see some changes in what our income is for the.
I agree. It's going to.
It might be,
We're going to be looking at some tough numbers
laying
and
off some in the future.
And we'll probably have to entertain that. I mean, I think we're going to see a very ugly budget next year.
I just want everybody to participate best they can in what we have to do.
So I guess I'm asking this committee, are we leaving it as is? Sheriff Department, EMS, EMA.
As long as we all consider them the front line on going into the home and going into the environments that they have to go in and face COVID-19, then I'm okay. I asked earlier about EMA. Are they truly front line? Mayor, can you help me with that?
Did they rotate off? Or they both work?
As far as I know, they both work.
Okay. Okay.
I see Kevin Kleinert is on the line. Kevin, do you want to speak to this?
Yeah, I did have throughout this, we've had both of the officers, they have been on and answering calls, emergency calls the whole time. They picked up some for EMS one. They had one up at it's a gas station guy had signs of COVID. I don't think it worked out to be that, but they've been doing the calls, emergency calls and all the whole time. So that was, and I think before we had already been classified as emergency services, but I just wanted to let y'all know that.
So both of your guys, both your officers did not take any time off?
They worked the whole time.
Is that Randy and Randy?
Yes, sir. Now Shay and I, we rotated time out back and forth out of the office, but they were there to feed, clean, take care of everything, and keep the calls caught up.
They had some COVID animals.
Did you have any COVID animals?
We had we picked up 2 from a guy up at EMS transported from Pleasant View, and then we picked up 2 others. But of course, when they do cruelty investigations, welfare checks, and all that, they have to go out and deal with the people and talk to the people at the residences. So, of course, they're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, both of them for call outs and myself if we need me. But they're available 24/7 for all law enforcement, fire, or EMS that need them. So, I mean, if they have a wreck at 2 a.m., they go out, or if they have a suicide or whatever, that the animals need to be removed, they go. So, we are available for that 24/7.
I would support giving it to Randy. We're talking probably about $3,500.
I do know if there's an animal in there, they have to go in before the EMS will go in, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. We've had to go in before and remove animals before anybody could even go in the house as far as EMS or police.
Randy, they didn't take any time. They didn't rotate off.
No, they rotated cleaning back and forth one day while one was doing calls and one staying there cleaning the other day while one was doing calls, but they were both there to work.
That'd be 3.5.
3.5 to the emergency.
Yeah. They went under that last year.
Yeah, I remember last year we had to have them. So you need a motion to add Randy and Randy to it?
Both Randys. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to add it.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Wade to add Randy onto this year's pay raises. And I got a second by Commissioner Glover. Ready to vote? Commissioner Wade?
Aye.
Commissioner Glover? Commissioner Bowens? Commissioner Stubblefield? Chair votes aye. Thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome. Thank y'all.
That's all I've got.
The only thing left is allocate that dollar, or that tax rate, right?
Yep. Allocating our tax rate. Ready to do that tonight?
I am.
I don't have a copy from the one from last, because I'm gonna say I didn't make a copy, although I've got it here. Currently, that tax rate is $1.13 for the general fund. Solid waste, Fund 116 is 5 cents. Your school fund is 90 cents. And your debt service fund is 49.59 cents, for a total tax rate to be the same as fiscal year 20, 2.5759.
5759.
Yes.
Well, I will entertain a motion to approve that tonight.
So moved.
I'm not ready to approve it.
Well, I've got a motion on the floor, so let's hear what you got. Do I have a second?
Sir.
I've got a motion and I got a second. Now we can discuss it. What do you got?
I'll go along with it. I'm not gonna go. We got $1,050,000 we just allocated. We got fund balances, so I'm just not gonna fight. I don't think there's anything I want to do right now.
Speak up.
So you're ready to vote? All right, so I've got a motion by Commissioner Glover. And that second by Commissioner Bowens. Commissioner Stubblefield?
Aye.
Commissioner Glover?
Aye.
Commissioner Bowens?
Aye.
Commissioner Wade?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Tax rate is set. Jody, do you have anything else?
No? Thank you. Well,
We're good.
one thing that I do have, this will probably be something where I go on ahead and we call personnel committee meeting. We had COVID-19 policies that we have to put in place, and Jeff Beamer did do that for us. I know we had discussed him a few budget meetings back, and he did us with another county. He charged us $900 to do that. He updated them where also too that the department heads had different schedules based upon not wanting employees to all be in the office at the same time, and other people catching the COVID-19. So I'm going to have to ask the mayor. I'll check with Jeff Beamer first to see if he can be available on a video phone conference, and we'll need to meet on the 19th of May or the 26th of May, so I can get this passed in June, so we're in compliance with having that policies and procedures in place. So that was more just an FYI.
Is that what you've already passed out? Passed out something about here a few days.
This is policies and procedures. No, I haven't passed those out yet. I think some different department heads have them. Angie's had them. I'm not positive which other departments have had to look at them, but we do have them in place. And I've talked to Angie, and I can't remember who else I've talked to about it because that's been a while back. But it's just to go ahead and have the policies and procedures in place for your employees. I guess we'll just amend it. It'll end up coming to y'all as at the county commission meeting. To vote on.
For the personnel board.
Yeah, that'll end up having to call a personnel committee meeting.
And just kind of an FYI too, I know solid waste is meeting on a fairly regular weekly basis. I know they're not meeting this week, but at a certain point, this committee is going to have to get involved with them to help right that ship out there. They met for a good hour and a half the other night, and probably no closer than when they started. But we know we've got it fixed for this year, but we have got to get it fixed for next. So we will probably be seeing some joint meetings with them.
I'd like to see some numbers and some information ahead of time so I can make intelligent decisions.
I've got a folder full, so I'll get you what you want.
So are we considering doing away with all out-of-county solid waste?
In my opinion, there's nothing off.
Yeah, everything's on the table.
I think we've got to look at everything.
Even to the point that we took so much from years past, we may have to give them a penny back to operate because we're getting so much free trash.
Who's on the EMS committee? I got a question.
Don is the chairman. He's the chairman.
Don is online, right?
Hey, Don?
He's off,
He's off.
I'm on the EMS.
unless he's caller 8.
Yeah, I'm here.
There you go.
I got a question. I had an opportunity to talk to CTAS the other day, and I'm curious, do we know what I'm trying to come up in my mind, trying to come up with some kind of way to look at our EMS or our ambulance service against other ambulance services to see how we would rank. And I asked them the question, and I want to let you know, I asked them the question, did they have any kind of study or any kind of numbers on counties with a population of 50 to 100,000? What counties fall in that? And in that group, how many of them have their own ambulance service? Then I wanted to know, what is the cost per day for a crew, an ambulance crew? And come up with a number, cost per day. And then compare that to these other counties and see if if we got more going out or less going out than some of the others across the state. And I wanted to let you know that I had asked him if they had that. the guy that I was talking to was supposed to be checking with several other groups to see if any of them had any kind of analysis like that. I'm curious, when we take patients from Northcrest and have to transport them to Nashville, who's paying the cost of that ambulance going to Nashville?
I'm here if y'all want to talk about that. This is Russell.
Let me get unmuted. Yeah, I mean, I think can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
I think the answer to your question, who's paying for it, it would be the private insurance first, and then if there wasn't any private insurance, it's just if they have Medicare or Medicaid or any of the other SSAs, then it falls back on that, and there's a program for that. But going back to the other, I think that would be a good idea. I can remember us comparing ourselves a few years ago to Putnam County, which was similar to, not exactly, but similar to our size. But I think that's a great idea. We'd have to find out who we could compare ourselves to, and I think Rick Jensen is the perfect one to head us in whatever direction we need to go there. Now
Okay.
I'm going to hit mute.
Don, have you scheduled a EMS committee meeting yet?
Yes, it's at 4:30 the night of the county commission meeting.
Good deal. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Monday.
Let me ask you one more question. You are the director, assistant director, whatever. Are we providing any services that we are not billing insurance or Medicare for?
The only thing that we wouldn't bill for would be if we didn't transport the patient and we didn't provide any care for them. Like if we went out to an accident and the patient, there was no patient, nobody was there, or no one was injured. That would be an example. But if we physically load a patient and we transport that patient, we'll bill their insurance, or if they don't have insurance, we'll bill them directly and try and collect anything we can. It'll even go so far as a collection process eventually.
Okay.
To try and get anything we can.
And
certain insurances you can't bill, like a TennCare patient. There's a set rate. A Medicare patient, there's a set rate. A commercial insurance, the rate is much higher. So you find yourself the patients that have insurance are making up the difference for the patients that don't.
Right.
Yes.
Just confirm for me, what is the amount that the county is having to fund the ambulance service? Is it around?
It's about 50%. So, Jody may have the budget in front of her. Let me look around here.
What number you looking for, Russell?
Yeah, at one time we made 50 cents back of every dollar we spent. Commissioner Eden can tell you about that.
Yeah, let me speak to that. Actually, Dennis, we kind of brag about that a little bit because 10 years ago we were almost upside down. But as we began to get a handle on our billing, and then that billing went totally into left field again when we had to bill according to Medicare. So I just say all that to say billing is a really big deal. Once we got our arms around that, we are to the point where for every dollar that the county spends, we collect about 50 cents. That's pretty rough figures. 2 or 3 years ago, it was a little over that. Right now, it's a little bit less than that.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome.
Well, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. I've got a motion and I got a second. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? This meeting is adjourned.